This is Benzinga Live. Spencer Israel and producer AB. What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Someone told me buy high, sell higher.
Let's get Matt Hammond on the show to talk some IPOs. Jake Wojacek from Trend Spider. We have a
breaking news. What is up, Zinger Nation? Happy Thursday. Hope everyone's having a great day. Let me know in the chat what stocks you're watching today, what you're trading. I definitely want to talk about some crypto today. We saw some wild movements in crypto yesterday after the Fed announcement. Wild movements in the market in general. Hope you guys were watching yesterday because I'm not going to say I called that, but I said there was a good chance I thought we were going to rally after that FOMC meeting, which is exactly what happened. So just to give you guys a quick rundown of the show today, in a few minutes, I'm going to be bringing on Vivi, the Biotech Queen. We're going to be talking some biotechs. Then at 12:45, bringing on Slinger Bag CEO Mike Ballardie. After that, short trading with TradeZero. Then some trivia at 1:30. So we've got a packed show, as always. Let me know in the chat if there's any stocks in particular you want us to talk about today. Again, we will be talking biotechs in a few minutes here. Let me go ahead and pull up my Benzinga Pro. Looking at Bitcoin right now, pretty flat, but if we look at the chart, so here, let me go down to let's go down to a 1 hour chart so we can see yesterday what Bitcoin did yesterday after the Fed announcement. We can see, let's see, right here. No, right here is where we got the boost after the Fed meeting. Bitcoin then traded lower, currently right below $50,000. So I don't know. Let's go back out to a further view on this, maybe a 1 day chart. So for me, I'm going to wait till Bitcoin gets down here before I look at buying more, because we see that it's been in a downtrend the past week or so, and it's not really interesting to me till we get to this previous support level that we know we have a good chance of bouncing off of. So everyone out there that's out there watching crypto, trading crypto, let me know if there are any coins that you're looking at. Leo's talking about Mara. Yeah, I mean the market today has. Let's just check in on the overall market. So let's look at SPY. SPY's up more than 1%. So we'll look at some of the top holdings in SPY. Oh, Apple. Apple's had quite a turnaround today because earlier when I checked, Apple was down. Is this right? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. All right, I got to figure this out because I don't know if Apple's really green on the day. But all right, let's go ahead. And if Vivi's ready, maybe if she gives me the thumbs up or something, we'll go ahead and bring Vivi on. We'll talk some biotech. There she is. She's ready. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get Vivi on. Boom, boom, boom.
Hello.
Hi, Vivi. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am great. Where you're joining us from sunny California?
Yes. No, I mean, look at me. I have a sweater on. It's cold.
It's cold. What?
Yeah, like in the 50s, we think it's cold in California.
Well, that's interesting because right now in Detroit, it's 59 degrees in the middle of December. So it feels really warm. It feels like a nice, like, end of summer, fall day here in Detroit. And I guess it might be a little colder where you are in California.
Yeah, we're just, but it's like when you live in a really nice weather, when it gets cold, everyone is bundled up. So I have some fun facts to talk to you guys about the XBI. The XBI has been awful, right? Biotech, it's been this is like the worst year ever for biotech. So which makes me believe that maybe next year is our year, right? But just so you guys have an idea, in 2021. There's the biotech index did a minus 38% and has lasted 11 months. If you go and compare history with the 2015-16, it was minus 46% in the last 7 months. So it's been, a very bearish biotech market for 11 months, but we have not lost as much as 2015-16, where they lost almost 50%. So my conclusion is it can only go up from here, right? So I think 2022 is the year. I think there's a great opportunity to buy. And on top of the biotech, the small cap's been crushed this month. So all my little multi-bagger potentials have wrecked my IRA for sure, but I'm very optimistic of the future. So if you can pull it up, BCRX, because that's my baby.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I just pulled up the XBI real quick. BCRX. There we go. We're currently at around what, $12?
Yes, so $12. We initiated trials for our Factor D pipeline. We're not going to have another approved drug until 2023. But if you look at Olardale alone, should put us at $17 a share just for the potential of sales. The CEO projected it's going to be a $500 million a year drug. So we're still very undervalued here. I'm not a financial advisor, so full disclaimer, I'm not suggesting anybody, but I've been accumulating as much as I can because I still believe this in 3 to 5 years will be a $200 stock unless they get bought out. So if they get bought out, I believe it will be a $100 stock. We will, as soon as we have the Factor D pipeline, I don't think we're going to have to take less than $100 a share. So this is definitely my number one multi-bagger here for sure. And I'm very, very optimistic for the future. And I'm very optimistic that this is going to be a huge winner. This is my biggest holding in my portfolio. So, and then if you can, we have some news of I don't own BCTX, but I thought it would have been nice to point out the news we had yesterday, I think. You want to put BCTX in?
Yep. And just so I know we talk about these stocks a lot while you're on. Sorry, it was BCTX.
Yeah.
But can we just back up a second and explain for maybe some of the people that are new with us today, like what these companies are actually doing?
Yeah, sure. So again, you guys can just also, if you guys Google the Bioqueen on YouTube, I have a channel on DD on BCRX. But literally, BCRX is going to come up with the oral Factor D pipeline. So just to give you a little perspective on BCRX, right now, the biggest competitor would be Alexion that got bought out by AstraZeneca for $39 billion. They have a drug that is an infusion that for PNH, and 70% of the profit from PNH, all the profit, it's pretty much 70% of the revenues come from PNH. Just so you guys have it to a scope how big this is. And the current drug that they have, is an infusion, and patients still need a blood transfusion. Okay, so go compare that with the BCRX. BCRX has the oral Factor D, so it's not going to be infusion, is oral. And too far, they have observed patients for almost a year, and not a single patient has needed blood transfusion. So think about it. So you're going to have a drug for PNH that's going to be oral, and that's not going to need blood transfusion. So, and a company got bought out by $39 billion. So you guys do the math. So that's why I believe this is BCRX is a reckon, how you call it when you have a competition. I forgot the phrase. I don't. Anyways, it's gonna come swinging and taking all the share of a market of AstraZeneca now drug for PNH. So just to give you guys a nutshell. So that's why I'm very bullish with BCRX. And then BCRX also has Olardale. Olardale is the only oral version of a drug that for HAE that the competitor is Takeda. So they've been stealing market share left and right from Takeda, and the CEO projected this is going to be a $500 million drug. So just an evaluation by itself of let's assume that Factor D never pans out, this is still a $17 share drug in short term because of oral data sales. So that would be for BCRX. I hate to be talking about the same one. That's why I know there's new people, but you guys can check my channel. But what I was going to tell you guys about BCTX, it's been on my radar for a long time because people always talk about this drug, this company. And this, ATAE is a nice company too.
Yeah, I was gonna. Whenever you wrapped up, when we were finished talking about BCRX and BCTX, I wanted to ask you kind of your. Go ahead and finish up, and we'll get to a tie and some of these other biotech stocks in a second.
Yeah, absolutely. So literally, for BCTX, what is really excited. So let's go back to BCTX really quick.
Yep, and BCTX right now is up about 5%. So strong day for Briacel right now. Let's look over real quick on the. So we got a market cap of about 120 million. I'll have to do some more digging into the financials, but I know the financials are not what we're looking for in a lot of these like early stage biotech companies. We're looking at which companies really have a strong possibility and ability to put a drug through the FDA process and go to market.
Well, what is fascinating is the insiders have committed to buy open market 10% of the company with their own money. So they have committed to buy 1.59 million shares. So when you see that much of an insider activity, it's like it rings a bell, right? You're like, okay, what it's so special about this company. So I'm definitely on my radar now. I have a lot of my viewers that have been asking me about BCTX. I know it has grown a lot, but now with this news about the insiders buying 10% of the company, that's huge, you guys. So on the open market with their own money, so that's huge news for sure.
Yeah. And then going back to what we were talking about earlier with just what is it? The IBX, the ETF that tracks XBI. Sorry, I got my letters mixed up there. We see that a lot, Vivi, where whatever in 1 year, whatever kind of the worst performing sector is, often comes back and is one of, if not the best performing sector the next year. So it's kind of that reversion to mean that we talk about a lot.
Yeah, so I feel like this is the time now to accumulate. Fundamentals have not changed, right? So they're just being beaten down. Patients are not stopping getting medication. They're not getting cured. They're still going to need infusions. They're still going to need rare disease and cancer. So I feel like if you do believe in a company and the fundamentals, it's for me is a buying opportunity here. So, but we're hoping that will be a bounce in 2022. So you want to go back to ATAI because ATAI it's being selected to be added to the NASDAQ Biotech Index. So it has been just selected. So
yeah, so what I think is interesting is this company. So for people that aren't familiar with Atai, it's one of the leading companies in the psychedelic biotech space.
Yes.
So this is a company out of Germany, and it's down. We saw it get all the way up to over $20 back in June. Now it's at about $7.50. It's down about 30% in the last month. So I wanted to talk to you about this stock, Vivi, and this space in general, because what we're seeing right now is a lot of investments being made both in Europe and in the States to throw money into this sector, into the psychedelic and kind of cannabis sector to see can some of these companies find a ways to attack mental health issues, all these things. But what I worry about is, are we too early? Like, are we still 5-10 years down the road to these companies being mainstream and making a lot of money? Because if so, then maybe I want to wait a couple years before I buy into some of these stocks like Atai and MindMed.
Yeah, so I was talking to you guys. How do you navigate early stages bio and still make money, right? So for example, Atai, they don't have anything even close to phase 3, right? There's a milestones next 18 months. They all go from phase 1 all the way to phase 2A. So they don't have anything phase 3. So, but if you look at it, you can make money off catalyst, right? So I'll give you guys an example. If you pull up LCTX, is a company that within 2 years, it can literally become a multi-billion-dollar company. They're not very far from achieving, like they're waiting for the IND. So they are doing retina regeneration, and they also doing spinal regeneration. And what they do is they call themselves the Amazon of a cell therapy, right? So they take these frozen cells, and you don't have to make from the patient. So they take these frozen cells. They take these cells, and these cells don't know what they want to be yet. So they take and they inject these cells, just inject into the patient's retina, as a procedure. The surgeon would do it. And within a year, these patients are regaining sight. They're seeing actually rebuild back, so regenerating the retina. So, and they're like, not even like 2 years out. And when you look at cell therapy companies, a lot of these companies are multi-billion companies, and they're not even as advanced as Lineage. So Lineage has been kind of like, they are not getting the exposure they deserve. So how I believe this company is going to be huge. I think this company is going to be, within 2 and 3 years, we can go from less than $1 billion market cap to 5 billion, 10 billion market cap, because you're seeing results. So what I do in this case, like I'll buy like 5,000 shares, $10,000 worth of it, and then I'll wait for the catalyst. So, and if we have a catalyst, I sell half, and then I wait, to come down again. The good thing about this company, they don't do offerings, and they have to find creative ways to raise money. But for example, ATI. So ATI might have a huge, good phase 2 trial, and that stock might shoot up 30%, right? You sell there, maybe keep a core. If you really believe in a company, you don't know if the company is going to get bought out or something crazy happens, if they get really huge news. So I usually trade around my core. So that keeps lowering my average, because, I sell half, then they do an offering or they raise money, and then I buy back, and then I sell half when there's news. So I don't hold anything long term if I don't know that within 6 months to a year, they're going to be profitable, because you can literally blow your whole account just by.
So are you looking at like FDA PDUFA calendars? How do you know
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like for example, BCRX, I'm not concerned, because they have already, they're de-risk, right? They already have an approved drug. So if you are investing in a company that doesn't have any approved drug, it's a huge risk. So I don't hold the full position. I would have probably sell 80% before, and then just keep 20% as a lotto. So that's a problem with the biotech. You need it to be up. For example, phase 3 is huge. Phase 3 can literally wreck your account. So I don't like to hold phase 3 either. Phase 1, phase 2 usually can get good results, but phase 3 is like a nail in a coffin if it doesn't do well. So that's why you do have to keep looking at the catalysts if you want to hold these companies long term, and then how much cash they have left, for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I think is so interesting about these biotech companies, is you can actually trade those PDUFA events, almost like another company's earnings, right? A very binary event. You're either going to get really good news and the stock's going to be up 10, 20, 30% the next day, or you're going to get bad news and the stock is down. So if you look at a biotech stock and you see that, okay, the company's supposed to report phase 2 data next week, maybe you look at like their executive team and say, okay, they have a lot of experience on their team getting drugs approved in the past. I feel really good that this company is going to be able to report strong data. So you buy some calls on that biotech, and that stock is up 10, 20%. I mean, that to me it's like fun kind of YOLO trading, but it's almost like going to the casino, right? You don't really know.
It is. Well, the good thing is, I think calls work really well for data. Calls don't work well for PDUFA. So I will
Okay.
never do unless you're doing, because what happened is if you have bad news, you cannot even sell aftermarket, right? Or pre-market, or or sometimes it will shoot up aftermarket $20 a share and then start diving, and you pretty much ruined your chance to oh my god, Bluebird, it's a disaster. Oh my god.
I was just gonna tell you. So when I first started investing, it was probably like back here in 2015 or so. Um, I just was so young and inexperienced that I read like one article on Bluebird, and they said they had some drug that was going to cure cancer or something. So I was like, oh, I love this. I told my uncle, who was like a financial advisor and stockbroker, like, I want to buy 100 shares of this. We did it with like my money from graduation from high school, and the stock just absolutely crashed. And I was like, since then I haven't really. I've tried to stay kind of away from some of these biotechs.
It's awful, but I think they're just not performance based company, and I think they fail with their sales, and so yeah, it's a disaster. I know people that work in that company. It's absolutely disaster. So I wanted to point out another company that when I came here to the channel, I alerted at $7. It reached 20, now it's back to 7. So if you can pull it up, KMPH.
Oh yeah, this was one of your first ones.
Yes. So KMPH, I still believe this is so one of the things that they have in their pipeline, it's an indication for treatment of a stimulant use disorder and for addiction, and there's nothing out there for that, and they just posted really positive data. So I feel like the pipeline of this company is really bright, and it has a huge future. We still have to see how they just launched the second phase of a sales reps for Asteris for the ADHD drug. It's still to know if it's gonna be. I know the scripts are going up, and I feel like now that they're expanding the sales force, they can really ramp up the sales. But the pipeline of this company also has a huge potential. So I'm still a huge believer that this company
Is this the one that your like ex-husband or something is involved in?
No, my ex-husband is not in bio at all.
Or sorry, there was you had some connection to some other company we were talking about earlier.
No, it's like no. This I knew people that worked at ARDX, and I
Maybe
lost
that's okay. Maybe that's what it
$1,000 on
was.
that because I thought it was a completely like slam dunk PDUFA, and it got flopped. So now after that huge lesson, I just put in an alert, and I'll buy the day off as a day trade for PDUFA plays. I don't think it's worth it to hold it through PDUFAs anymore. You can play low floaters all day long and have the same exactly effect that you would if you invest in biotech, right? So I feel like that's why biotechs are getting a lot of heat, because you have all these all these specs and all these new IPOs that have like $2 million float, and people are just trading those left and right, like LGVN, BFRI. And I'm like, why would you buy bio and risk yourself where you can day trade, low floaters? So I still believe, though, the companies that it can become a Takeda one day, or AbbVie, or Pfizer, I believe that you can tuck those in your long-term accounts, and you're going to be rewarded. But as a swing, people just like forget about it. Too much risk, So people don't want to swing bios anymore.
So what about? So I know you're still connected, like in the industry, with some, pharmaceutical salespeople and medical salespeople. Are people now that we have this new COVID variant, like talking about some of these Vaxart plays or other vaccine plays?
Well, I believe that GRTS has the best second generation mRNA. So this is like a company that it's low float, and we needed to go back to that $32 a share there, so it's just a matter of a news. I believe Grits. So Grits is one of the companies that I have 4,000 shares, and when we have good news and it hits 30, I'm probably going to sell 80% of it and then just buy back, because the low floater biotechs, they have a huge swings. But GRTS not only have the best second generation mRNA that's hitting our variants. It has proven to be able to cover our spectrum of. I don't know about Omicron, but I know the Delta was able to protect from Delta, and then they have an amazing cancer pipeline. So this is like another company, just like BCRX, that I feel will be $100 stock one day.
Yeah, and again, this is one that we saw. You can look on the chart. We just had a crazy run up to about, looks like the high was $35 and then came all the way back down to about $6. So Gritstone Bio will definitely be one we have to keep on our watch list. All right, Vivi, we got to wrap in the next 3 minutes or so.
I just wanted to say real quick, somebody just said, that a biotech is like a lotto ticket. Most of them are going to be losers. I completely agree. That's why I feel you needed to prove yourself and make sure that you have a successful launch and you can produce revenues to fund your next pipeline. That's why I have such a faith in BCRX, because they were able to prove that they can be successful and they can be a multi-billion-dollar company. But I completely agree. Most of these companies don't even make it. Once they have a PDUFA and is approved, look at TRVN, Trevina. I believe that they would be a competitor to morphine. And, they have a bad management and poor execution of sales. And look what happened. So I completely agree. So it's you just needed to make sure that they have a successful launch before you go all in.
Yeah, and that's why, and maybe more so than any other industry, like you have to have some sort of knowledge of what's going on with these biotech companies. Do your due diligence to understand, okay, is this company going to be one of the hundreds of biotech companies that kind of never get a drug to market and their stocks end up not being great? Or are you going to find those, 1 in 20 or whatever it is that bring a drug to the market and explode from a $5 stock to a $100 stock?
Yeah. So good management, good drug has to be both. You can have an amazing drug and poor management, you're not going to make it. So that's exactly what happens to Trevina right here. Bad management.
Got it. All right. Well, if you don't have anything else for us today, Vivi, it was great to have you on.
Yeah,
as always.
I'll check the comments to see if any tickers we didn't have a chance to get to Q&A, but I'll catch up with you guys next week.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and post your Twitter in the chat. So if you don't already follow Vivi, follow her on Twitter for some good due diligence in the biotech space. And you can always tweet tickers or questions at her. And she'll look them up for you.
Okay, guys. You guys have a great day.
You too. Have a good holiday.
Yeah, Vivi, I'm not sure we're going to be having a show in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah, because it is true, because it's Christmas next week is the 23rd. So yeah, keep me posted. I'm around. So if we have to, it happens.
All right. Have a good one, Vivi.
You too, guys. Bye-bye.
All right. Man, her Discord is going crazy in the background. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
Discord's popping. What's up, everyone? How we doing? All right. We have our next guest here. I see him lurking backstage, and we're going to bring him on in a couple of minutes. This company, I'm excited for this one. And Aaron, you told me that you have like a personal connection to this type of product, so I'm excited.
Just to give you all, so we're bringing on Mike Ballardie, the CEO of Slingerbag, which has some really cool tennis products out there. I actually grew up playing tennis, playing it in competitive tournaments and whatnot. So I'm excited to talk to Mike. And again, so we have about 3 minutes till we're going to bring Mike on. In the meantime, Spencer, let's do a quick crypto update. We saw Bitcoin and Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies kind of skyrocket yesterday off the Fed announcement. And today,
yes, you love to see it, Aaron.
We do love to see it. All in the green. And
even Doge. Wait, where's Doge on there?
Doge is top.
No, it's middle.
Middle now. They moved it around.
Yeah.
It's up. It's up less than 1%. But
they didn't move it around. That's based on market cap. Doge moved itself around.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
The more you know. Anyway, we can see Ethereum, your big winner, up more than 8%. Bitcoin up about 1.8%. The Binance coin is up about 5%. Solana up nearly 10%. Cardano up 6%. I mean, What's really interesting to me is back in around May, right, when China cracked down on Bitcoin mining and we saw all this media and news cycle be about the environmental impact of mining cryptocurrency, it was pretty clear that we were going to see a lot of money flow into these quote unquote greener cryptocurrencies. So your Cardanos, your Solanas.
What do you mean? They're all green. It says it on the chart.
I meant greener, like clean energy.
Oh, you got to clarify.
Clean
man.
energy.
Oh, okay.
Solana has outperformed Cardano though, even though both were kind of touted as a cleaner alternative to Bitcoin. Yeah, Shelly, wow, you know a lot about me. You know all the sports I've played. All right.
Shelly, please stop writing things down.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys are interested in getting into the crypto markets, we have a great offer for you. You can go ahead and use the code ZING on Voyager to get $50 in free Bitcoin after you deposit $100 and make your first trade. So if you're looking to earn some free Bitcoin, go ahead and use that code on Voyager. I don't know who doesn't want $50 in free Bitcoin, Spencer, don't you?
No, I don't know who doesn't want it either, frankly. It's not even that hard to do.
I mean, if you would have bought $50 of Bitcoin like 10 years ago and just held on to it.
What would that be worth now? Can someone get a calculator out?
Probably a lot. Shelly, help us out.
All right, Shelly, we're just kidding. We're just picking on you. All right.
I'll throw that out there for one more second. I know some of you guys are typing in the...
Oh, sorry. Okay, wait. I was specifically told I'm not allowed to mess with my my microphone anymore because I futz with it too much and it creates problems. So I'm sorry, guys, but it's a bad habit that I can't quite get out of. Okay. Is Mike here? I see Mike here.
Yeah.
Should we bring Mike on?
Let's go ahead and let's wait. If Mike gives me like a thumbs up or a head nod or something that he's okay, he's ready.
Wait, Mike just gave you the finger, man. Mike, I'm just playing. That's
all right. Without further ado, before Spencer takes us on the rails off the rails even further, let's go ahead and bring Mike on. Mike Ballardie, CEO of Slingerbag. How's it going? Thank you for joining us this Thursday.
Yeah, hey guys, Aaron, Spencer, nice to meet you. Thanks for inviting me.
Real quick, we have to address the elephant in the room. Is that a virtual background?
No, it's not actually. It's an apartment. I'm in London, and we've got a bad situation with COVID, so everyone's working at home. So.
Oh wait, just to be serious for a second. I mean, I've been reading the headlines like everyone else, right? So. What is it like down there right now, or out there right now?
Yeah, we have this Omicron virus, or the mutation, and yeah, the rates of infection are pretty aggressive at the moment. So I think yesterday in the UK we were at like 80,000, which was double the day before. So it's moving fast. So yeah, everyone's working at home again.
So, but before we get started, Mike,
stay safe, please.
Thank you.
That too. That's most important.
Yep.
I want to talk. Well, first, I want to ask you to just give us like a brief rundown on Slingerbag for some people that may not be familiar. But I also I got to issue you a congratulations.
Yeah, what's that about?
Racket Sports Industry Magazine recognizes Slingerbag CEO Mike Ballardie as Business Executive of the Year.
Yeah, that was a pleasant surprise to get that accolade. Yeah, obviously, I'm delighted, but like I tell everyone, we're a small team, and I might be at the front of it, but everybody's really contributed to the success that we've seen with Slingerbag. So I accept it on behalf of everybody, but it's obviously nice to get some recognition.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start. If you want to give us the quick elevator pitch, a minute or two, just about the mission and kind of how Slingerbag started.
Yeah. So we're obviously in the sports industry. We started out in tennis. We started out as a one-product company, making the Slinger Bag, which you can see on the screen. Highly portable, very versatile, meaning you can keep all your equipment in the bag as well, and very affordable. So typically, tennis ball machines are north of $1,500 for the kind of functionality that you get in a Slinger, and we offer that for around about half that price. So it's been hugely popular, particularly throughout COVID. Around the world, and with tennis players, new and old, young or senior, and it's really taken the tennis market by storm.
Yeah, and I mentioned, Mike, before you came on that I actually grew up playing competitive tennis,
I heard that.
and that was one thing that I always, I guess, didn't like was anytime I was told by a coach or something to use a ball machine, they were so like clunky and hard to use, especially as like a smaller kid, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been involved in tennis for 30 years as a coach, a player, and a business leader. And I can tell you that most of the tennis ball machines, you'll find them in the corner of a pro shop, and very few people take them out, you know. And so what we wanted to do with Slinger was create something that became a piece of traditional equipment in the tennis world, you know, that people could afford, and that became as important to the tennis player as their racket or their shoes or their clothing. And so I think we've pretty much achieved that so far.
So you mentioned Slingerbag started as a one-product company, and I think that's very interesting because I think it's rare, especially with sports equipment companies, to see kind of a one-product company be publicly traded. When did you know you wanted to take Slingerbag public, and what was the thought process behind that?
Well, actually, it was the founder of Slinger. There's a guy called Joe Calfa, who's our major shareholder. He's a very successful business guy, and he's an entrepreneur in many different fields. And he'd seen a number of companies be very successful in raising capital on the microcap markets. And actually, he's an avid tennis fan. He plays most days, and he just personally wanted to own a publicly traded tennis company. It's as simple as that. And so we acquired a company on the OTC that was trading in very small volumes, and then we reverse merged Slinger into that, and that was at the back end of 2019.
Can I ask about the distribution model here?
Yes.
And how that works?
Yeah, so in the United States or North America, we operate as a direct-to-consumer brand. So we have our own website, slingerbag.com. Outside of North America, we operate an exclusive distributor basis. So we have 60 or so distributors all over the world, from Australia and New Zealand to India to Japan and China, throughout Asia and Europe. And these companies are independent companies distributing Slinger exclusively in their territory. And most importantly, they are very successful companies in sport. A lot of them in tennis, but all of them in sports. And so, they have the experience needed to be successful with this distribution of Slinger.
So Mike, you mentioned the popularity of the Slingerbag product throughout the COVID pandemic. I think for a lot of us in the investing world, we think about golf being the sport that has benefited the most from the COVID-19 pandemic. What did you see as far as trends in tennis in general during the pandemic?
Well, in the United States, there are now, throughout coming out of COVID or the initial pandemic, there are 4 million more tennis players. So that obviously means 4 million more people interested in. Yes, it's the official numbers of the United States Tennis Association. 4.5 million more tennis players, and of course that's great for everybody involved in the sport. Whichever part of the industry, whether it's a teaching pro level, club level, or equipment level, like we are. There's more people around interested to buy your product, and I think, like a lot of fitness companies, we all saw a great upswing. With people having more leisure time, people wanting to do things a little bit in isolation. And tennis is a great example of a sport that's really been very successful throughout COVID.
So I'd imagine that maybe for some investors that are on the fence about Slingerbag, something they are concerned about is the fact that the addressable market may not be that huge, because if you take how many people are playing tennis, say in the United States or in Europe, and then there's only going to be a certain percentage of those tennis players that have the need to go out and buy a ball feeder machine. Do you expect that number to grow?
Well, I don't quite agree with that, Aaron. I think the market is much bigger than people realize. So there are 100 million tennis players around the world. But the tennis industry, so all of the big tennis brands, they focus on the 20 million who we regard as being avid players. These are players that, are playing on a weekly basis. And it's this 20 million players who actually spend 80% of all of the revenues in tennis, whether it's joining a country club, taking lessons, buying equipment, watching tennis, consuming tennis in some way, shape, or form. And so it's those people that are our bullseye target consumer. Of course, there are many now, fast-growing offshoots of tennis, like pickleball. That's really.
I love pickleball.
I
love pickleball.
It's a great sport, and I think there's 5 million pickleball players in the United States now.
A lot, and it's one of the fastest growing sports in the United States. And so I was going to ask you about pickleball and maybe some other racket sports on the follow-up, because I'm sure, as you know, with your experience in tennis, and what I've found too is it's not just tennis. It's like the racket sport community has a very tight-knit community. You know, and a lot of people that I knew met growing up playing tennis are now playing squash and racquetball and pickleball. Yeah. So are there plans to enter these other markets within racket sports?
Yeah, absolutely. So middle of next year, we'll be launching our pickleball, slinger launcher. And then there's also a sport called padel tennis, which is not as big in the United States, but it's massive outside the United States. So we'll be going into that sport.
Paddle, like outside on the court.
Yeah, the glass. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've been asked about. We've been asked about platform tennis. You know, they play that in the Northeast a lot in the winter.
In the winter, that's what we call paddle. We call paddle ball out the one that's the winter sport that people play outside in the winter with the metal cages, and like they have the ground is heated.
Yeah, well, there's also padel tennis, which is actually in a glass court. It's like in an outdoor squash court. So you play doubles mainly. It kind of emanated out of Spain and South America, and actually in the US it's picking up, but it's much bigger outside the U.S. So.
Mike, I have a quick question about the business. I wonder how cyclical in nature your sales are.
Actually, right now, we just see every month to month. We started selling July. The first one we shipped was July 27th last year. And every month since then, we see the sales increasing. I mean, it's nonstop. Okay. So it's not cyclical at all.
Interesting.
But what we are looking at now is expanding our reach, not to be a one product company. We want to convert ourselves into or transform into a sports tech company. And so, we've announced that we've made some acquisitions of companies that will take us into a business which is all about recurring revenues, actually, and that's going to be a much more interesting a big opportunity for us going forward.
Well, I've never heard of paddleball or platform tennis before just now, but I know I like pickleball. I've played it, I've watched it, and it's a blast. And so I guess theoretically, if you're building, if your product is being used for all those sports, it would be a year-round thing. So
and actually we last week we just finished our third round of playtesting of our new baseball and softball launcher, and I can tell you that is off the charts incredible. It's incredible. It's off the charts incredible.
I love it. And I wanted to go back for a second. So something you mentioned earlier about how the core, more serious tennis players result for. Or make up 80% of the total revenue in the sport, which makes a lot of sense. So for people out there that may not be familiar with tennis or racket sports in general, if you're a casual tennis player that plays maybe 5, 6, 10 times a year, you probably have the same racket for 5 years and you have no need. But if you're a serious tennis player that's hitting balls all the time, you have 2 rackets in your bag at all time. You're probably replacing those rackets every 6 months to a year. So I do think that gives us a lot more insight in terms of like who the core customers are for these products.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're exactly right. And so, we wanted, we priced the Slinger Bag. Most people pay $750 for it. So it's the price of really 2 really good tennis rackets. So for an avid player, it's not an expensive product. So, that's who we're after.
All right, so we've got the other racket sports in the pipeline.
We got baseball, and softball.
We got baseball, softball. What about golf? We got to find some way to get in the golf market.
There is going to be an opportunity in golf in the future, I believe, but more not with a ball launcher, but more with analytics and things like that we can bring to bear to the market.
Well, that's what I would think would be really interesting, because right now a TrackMan, which is what gives you, if you hit with a TrackMan, it gives you how far you hit the ball, the spin on it, all that. If someone was able, and other companies are working on this, I know Garmin has one, to put out a competitor at TrackMan, because the TrackMan's so expensive. It's like, a Tesla versus an actual affordable EV.
Right. I'm with you. But I think also, what's going to be important is that we also want to help people enjoy their golf or their tennis or their baseball or softball more. And you do that by improving how you play. And so the analytics that we're working on, as well as being able to track the ball and do all the things that many apps that are out there now do today, we want to look at some new dynamics which are really important in all sports. So your hitting foundation. If you play tennis and your weight is leaning backwards, the ball's going to go out over the fence. or over the back line, the baseline. Same in golf, you know, if your weight's going the wrong way when you hit the ball. So our AI is going to measure things like weight transfer, contact points, hitting platform, dynamic things that will actually help people improve their sport.
I love it. Yeah, and oh, go ahead, Spencer.
No, I was just gonna say, Mike, forget the analytics. Can you build a device to help me find my ball? That's where I really thought you were going with that.
Yeah, I have seen things, you know, in development, you know, balls with microchips in that will actually, you know, help with the analytics, but also help you find them. So things like that are coming. You know.
How about an automatic drone that connects to your ball and follows it, so then you can just like find your drone, it takes you to it, and then you also get the benefit of it'll be filming you, so if you hit a hole in one or something, you have the video.
Everything's going to be possible. You know, the sport tech market is opening up fast. I think it's somewhere close to $40 billion now as a market. Sport maybe is lagging behind some other industries when it comes to the technology, but it's on a rapid rise, and the M&A market in sport tech is very hot at the moment. So, you know, there's a lot of roll-ups, a lot of acquisitions going on, and you know, with Slinger, we want to be at the forefront of that. Actually, you know, we think we understand the tennis consumer incredibly well, and what they're looking for, and what they like, and what they want, and we aim to deliver that with our connected platform over the next year or so.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Mike, we gotta stay connected. I'm gonna be down in Florida next week. I think I'll be playing some pickleball. I'll be with my cousin, who's a lot better of a tennis player than I am. He was like D1 at Georgetown and all this.
Nice.
I'm worried that we're gonna have I might have an actually tough pickleball matchup. But we're also up here in Michigan. So every summer in Kalamazoo, Michigan, they have the big
junior event.
Yeah, the big junior event. So maybe sometime you can come visit us up here, and we can go to Kalamazoo and bring some Slinger bags and show the junior tennis players how cool the product is.
Love to do it, Aaron. Yeah, it'd be great.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot for coming on the show today.
No, yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Enjoy your rest of the day. Happy holidays.
Right. Same to you.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Hey, this was an eye-opening experience for me. Aaron, I had no idea that you were such like a tennis fiend.
I grew up from about I want to say like 10 to 13 every summer in St. Louis. I'd be like traveling to tournaments in Kansas City and Oklahoma City, like because they have the USTA, which is the United States Tennis Association for juniors. And if you want to be serious in tennis, it's not just like playing for your high school or whatever. You have to play in these like junior club events. Right. And so I would go with my cousin, who was a year older than me, and he took it a lot more serious. Like he played year round, no other sports. I was always like playing other sports and just kind of did that in the summer. So I got to a point where, unless I was gonna like seriously play year round, I was getting beat in these tournaments by like all these kids that were going D1 and stuff. So I kind of just stopped playing. But then I played for my high school 1 year, which was fun.
Nice. No, we all learned something new today, except for Shelly, who already knew this apparently. But
tennis is so fun. Like
it is fun. I'm with you. I'm bad, but it's fun.
Yeah, tennis. It's kind of like golf. Like once you're a certain level of skill level where you like can actually hang in there and like hit a ball back and forth over the net, or in golf like keep it on the course and like hit it in the air, then it becomes like infinitely more fun than when you're just starting.
I did enjoy the movie that's out right now, King Richard with Will Smith.
Oh, that was a good movie.
It's a good movie. Okay, so here's what's going to happen now. We are going to do our next TradeZero segment coming up in a couple of minutes. We're going to talk about what happens behind the scenes when you sell something short. When you short something, when you short a stock, all these mechanizations are going behind the scenes, from you to your broker to the market and back. We're going to walk through that process exactly with TradeZero. That'll be in a couple of minutes. We're also going to have trivia, right, Aaron? I think?
Yep, and a Guess That Chart.
And a Guess That Chart. Another Guess That Chart. Ooh. Do we have a chart to guess yet?
No, I thought you were going to...
I can find one, sure. We never got an email yesterday, I don't think, from the winner. I don't think I saw one.
Okay.
That's not up to us. If you win Guess That Chart, we'll give you free swag, but you got to email us your address. You know what I mean? So do that. Okay. So I was hosting All Access this morning, so I'm flying like a little bit blind in terms of the market here. You know, obviously we went over crypto. I know things have pulled back. What else did I miss today? Is that the big theme of the day? Is that we're pulling back from yesterday's pop?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah. I think honestly too, And I don't really have anything to back this up, but I think there's some increasing Omicron fears again. Not about like the severity of Omicron, but just the fact that like the numbers seem to be rising, not just in the United States, but throughout the world. And I think a lot of leaders then are going to be in a position to say like, okay, even if this variant is less severe and less deadly, do we want to, take any more precautions just to try to slow down this spread, or should we just keep going full steam ahead and kind of let everyone contract this new variant?
All right, it is that time for our next TradeZero segment. For those who don't remember, I explained this a couple weeks ago. We're doing a series of segments with TradeZero all about short selling, everything you have ever wanted to know about. We're too afraid to ask about short selling. Last time we covered, at a high level what it is, why you would do it, the risks, how important risk control is, because your risk is unlimited with short selling. Today we're going to dive a little bit deeper into, again, the behind the scenes mechanizations, what actually happens, at your broker, in your account and at the exchange, what happens when you actually click sell to sell something short. So with that being said, it is time for zero hassle short selling. Let's do it. Dan Pipitone is the CEO of TradeZero. Jonk87 is a trader. Guys, what's up?
What's up, fellas? How are you?
What's up?
Doing fantastic. How are we doing? How's your week going?
Awesome. Really looking forward to this segment. Although it looks like we're not in the place to be, Spencer. It looks like you got a lot going on in the background there. It looks like a great time happening in Detroit. Is it?
Are you talking about Jerry?
No, I'm talking about the ice skaters or whatever.
The other way, the ice rink. Yeah. We have promised we will do a segment from the rink that hasn't happened yet, but yes.
All right, cool.
People are having fun. Okay, so let's talk about this. Locate. That's the theme of the day, right? Locates. Location. Let me start with this. I will just pose a question, and then we'll just kind of see where the conversation takes us. But we'll start here with I guess Dan, right? You're coming at this from the broker side. Okay.
Yes.
So explain what exactly TradeZero does, and then we'll get into the mechanizations. But like, what's happening at TradeZero when me or anyone just goes, okay, boom, I'm short.
Great. So we as a broker dealer, just as a directive, we believe in sort of bi-directional trading. We believe that our customers should have the optionality to decide which direction they feel that something is going to go, and have the ability to execute on that direction. So what that means, on the long side, everyone does that. All brokers do that. On the short side, there are various degrees of facilitation. For us, we not only have an easy to borrow list, which those are basically the stocks that are in ample supply. They're readily available to be borrowed or brought in on a loan. And so for the ones that are easy to borrow, when someone wants to short a stock, they can just short it. There's no additional action that they need to take. Stocks in ample supply, you can just short the stock. The exciting stuff comes more in when you talk about the stocks that are not in ample supply, but you still want to short. So from the broker dealer's perspective, we need to make sure that if we're facilitating a short sale for somebody, that we have at least a reasonable basis to believe that if the customer shorts the stock and holds it till tomorrow or holds it overnight, we have a reasonable basis to believe that we can get delivery on those shares. So when someone trades a stock intraday and they short it and cover it, there's no delivery that needs to be made from the party where we're getting a locate on the stock from into the firm. It's only when someone holds something short overnight that we actually have to get delivery on those shares. So when we talk about, TradeZero and our facilitation of stuff on the short side, it's not just on the easy to borrow. Well, it's not just the fact that we allow shorting, and it's not just on the stocks that we allow be able to short, just the easy to borrow ones. We're also talking about those ones that are premium items and those that are not easy to borrow. You may talk about a low float security or you may talk about something that is, you know, an IPO that just, you know, today's the first day it's trading. And so our facilitation of short sales is not just on the easy to borrow stuff, but also on the stuff that is a little bit more difficult to source. And go ahead.
No, I was going to ask Steven, it's just like from the trader side, right? Because you're a trader.
Yeah.
Walk us through your process and like everything Dan said, but from your point of view, right? As the number one, right?
No, it's a really good question. So basically, if you're a short seller, you need a broker that specializes in short selling in this day and age, because to be honest, the best short opportunities that don't come around so often. They don't always come around. The best opportunities don't come every single day. So when it does come, you need to make sure that you have shares that you can short. And with some brokers, there's shares available at say 6:30 in the morning, but when you come to place the trades, boom, they've run out of the shares. Or like, so you need a broker that A, locates most of the time to some of the premium items, and B, you can actually locate and reserve. So you don't think, oh, I'm excited, I'm going to take this trade. Boom, you go to take the trade and they've run out.
Right. Yeah. So what is the difference then, I guess, between a specialist broker and a regular broker? Whoever wants to answer that, I guess Dan, I don't know.
Well, I would just say it's not really necessarily an industry term, okay. But we have a dedicated focus on facilitating short sales, and so our products, our technology, and also the relationships that we have to facilitate this they all speak to that dynamic. It's an area of focus for us because of what I led with, the fact that we believe traders should have the ability to go, you know, both directions at will. And in order to do that in a robust way on the short side, you need to have the product, the tech, the infrastructure, the relationships to do all that.
Okay, and chat, I see you, chat. I'm not ignoring you, but I want to get to a few things here. I love this slide here. Okay, I'm a very visual learner. I say that all the time. Let's walk through step by step what is happening. So the top of the funnel here is Steven has sent in his order to short some stock that he thinks is going down. Dan, what is happening?
Okay, so Steven is looking at a stock. Is the stock easy to borrow? If so, that there's an indication on the platform that says that it's easy to borrow. From the broker's perspective, we know that these stock is in ample supply. So we've satisfied the reasonable basis to believe that if Steven holds that short overnight, that we can get delivery because it's on our clearing firm's easy to borrow list. Steven will then initiate a short sale. Hopefully the stock goes down. Steve then covers, and then the trade is completed. However, because it's an easy to borrow stock, he can now go in and short it again if he wants, with again not taking any additional action. So the easy to borrow stocks are the easiest to short because you can just press the short button in the same way you press the buy button when going long.
Now, the other side of the coin, not every stock can be easy to borrow because that would be too easy. What happens if the stock is not easy to borrow? What happens if it's hard to borrow?
Yes. Okay. So if it's not easy, then a locate is required. So if a locate's required, the customer, the trader using our platform would put in the symbol, would interact with our locate window. They put in the symbol, number of shares, hit the button. We're going to come back with a rate if we have availability. If the trader accepts that rate, now these shares are allocated to his account that he can then short cover as many times as he'd like. So looking at the chart here, once the client accepts the locate from the broker, then they will have access to be able to short up to that number of shares as many times as they'd like.
Steven, have you experienced this firsthand?
Shorting easy to borrow and hard to borrow stocks every single day. Every single day. I mean, look, when the stock is at a premium, you have to pay a fee, and that's frankly the price of doing business. Like that's what it costs to trade on the short side. But it's so important that you have access to these stocks on the short side because otherwise you simply can't do your job. So it's very important to have a specialist broker to ensure that you can focus on what you need to focus on, like taking the right trade at the right time, right? Respecting risk management. Like I don't want borrows to be a problem. So you choose a broker that has the borrows. Like that's it from my opinion.
So how do you don't know, I guess. How do you know if a stock is hard or easy to borrow. You just have to go through the process, right?
Yeah, you just have to just interact with the platform.
Yeah,
That's all.
okay.
You know, and that would
Right.
that would tell you. You would know instantly upon logging in.
Okay. Can you explain the auction system?
Sure. So our locate system, we've spent a lot of time, effort, and resources on creating what we feel is an industry-leading dynamic and treatment for the facilitation of locates, which is a precursor to doing a short sale on a stock that's not easy to borrow. So when we first started this, Spencer, this really came out of the demand for our customers to be able to interact with stuff that was just not on the easy to borrow list. So we started working with one locate wholesaler and realized quickly that this was something that was an in-demand product. So we added another vendor and another vendor and another vendor. So essentially what happens is right now, when we receive a locate request, we're actually fanning that request out across multiple vendors. We are and we're coming back with availability, and we're interacting with the vendor that's giving us the best price. So at the end of the day, I inevitably would get calls from vendors that we're interacting with, and they're like, Dan, you guys keep asking me for a price and asking me a price, but you're not accepting. Why? I'm like, well, your price is too high. So lower the price, and if you do to a point where you're the best option, then every request that comes in and every accept will be hitting you. So the auction style marketplace that we've created for our vendors has served a few purposes. First and foremost, it served as a way to keep costs down for our clients by creating this competitive nature. And secondly, it tells vendors that if they want to sell their supply, that there's a price to do so. And if you lower your rate to that price, it's going to, in effect, bring costs down for all of the users, but also keep them honest because they know they're not the only vendor that we're working with. So the auction marketplace has really served well from our customer standpoint because it serves the vehicle to create a competitive environment and keeping costs down.
When you say other vendors, who do you mean?
So we work with 7 or 8 different wholesale locate providers, 2 of whom are our clearing firms, Vision Financial Markets and Apex Clearing. And then there are 6 or so other clearing firms that we do work with.
Okay. Here's what I'd like to happen. Dan is going to bring up his platform right now, and I would like for Steven to walk us through, or Steven and Dan will walk through how to actually do this, right? Because again, if you haven't done it before, it is something that you probably want to see done before you go do it yourself. Or
Exactly.
Do it in a paper account before you do it for real for the first time. Steven, you've had a lot of experience shorting. I mean, can you just speak a little bit about every day? Can you just speak a little bit more just about the locate process for you and like how you've learned to navigate that?
Yeah, no, I mean, when it comes to locating stocks, there's 2 very important things, price and time. You want to get stocks at locates at competitive prices. And with the nature of day trading, it's fast paced, often reacting as a quick process. You want to be able to get the locates as fast as possible. So I suppose when we walk, and also you can get locates from anywhere. I'm in the bathroom right now. As some people think on chat, you can locate stocks in two clicks from absolutely anywhere. So,
I want you to finish that thought, but Dan, can you just click share in the middle there?
I'm going to do that right now.
Okay, okay, great. And then Steven, finish that thought. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So we can bring up the screen and maybe we can do something live. But the most important thing is that when you want a stock, because like stocks can push, like micro cap stocks, traditionally what we short or what I short. Micro cap stocks can move like 6, 8, 10% in 30 seconds, 60 seconds. So the window of entry that short's a good short can be extremely quick.
Holy cow, man.
So you need to be able to locate the shares quickly. You need to react quickly. So you need like a good technology to do it.
Okay, sorry, because it's looking to share my both screens, and I was just cleaning up screen number 2. Just give me 1 second.
All good.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. So Steven, oh my gosh, man. So yeah, Say that again. You're shorting
Dude,
micro cap.
I like the heat. I like the heat. That's why I'm in Rio de Janeiro right now in a bathroom. Like, I like the heat when it comes to shorting stocks, but of course you've got to do it responsibly and with good risk management. Like, and it's tricky. That's why you need to try and stick to the rules. And
all right, okay, we have the platform up here. So Dan,
awesome.
Dan, what are we looking? Okay,
all right.
First off, I'm making this full screen here, and yeah, can we make stuff bigger? Can we zoom in on something? Can we? Yeah.
All right, so let's get these in focus here. Okay, so are you guys good on this? Or
can
is it
you
still
make
a little hard to see?
Can you make whatever we're going to focus on a little bit bigger? Just like, you know, on your resolution on your screen, just, you know, zoom in so we can see, and hopefully we're not going to see your account number.
Yep. Okay, 1 second.
F-Rod King, I see your question. We'll address it. There we go. Yes, beautiful.
Okay.
Sorry. All right.
All right, great. So, okay, so we're looking at a stock right here called AMC. We all know this one. This is one of the memes. And what we're going to do here is on our platform, we can see, sorry, let me just set this up a little better. Okay, so on our platform, you could see that in the upper left-hand corner, right where we type in the symbol, there's a little red LR. What that means is that there's a locate required. So for example, I put an Apple, that's a green S. That means this is shortable. It's easy to borrow. I'm ready to rumble on, sorry.
AMC.
I'm ready to rumble on Apple.
Oh,
I can just press short and cover,
okay.
and that's going to be great. However, when we talk about a stock that is not easy to borrow, sorry, just want to bring up my portfolio.
I guess AMC would have been hard to borrow.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
That's
the last thing I wanted to know. Okay. Well, wait. Okay. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Keep going.
Okay. So AMC. Let's just punch this up. Sorry, guys. This is a full round turn. What we're going to do right now is I'm going to locate the shares. I'm going to short AMC. I'm going to cover it. And then I'm going to bring on the sexy, and I'm going to show you guys really the key differentiator for TradeZero, which is our locate sell back feature. So right now I'm going to type in AMC. I'm going to hit locate. It's going to say, okay, if I want to do 100 shares of AMC, it's going to cost me 88 cents on the locate. That's 0.0088 cents on the locate per share. When I hit accept, what happens is we notice that red LR went to 100 available out of 100, which now means if I want, I can come in and I can short AMC. Let's do a limit and let's press short. Okay, and so now the order is live, and we're looking to short it at 84 cents. It gets up to 84. We will short it. Let's just see.
That 88 cent fee. Where would you rate that on the spectrum? Is that normal? Is that high? Is that
that's kind of normal.
Right.
I would say, especially on a stock like AMC, which is pretty readily available. It's not so expensive.
Yeah.
But okay, so this short is not happening. Let me just change this to a market order. And let's just short this.
But 84 cents is pretty good though, because if that's a $2,400 position, so if the stock moves just 1%, that's $24 profit, right? So you can see the difference.
True.
So you guys just saw that I did a quick short and cover. I made $1, but now I have this locate that I don't need anymore, right? If I wanted to short AMC again and cover, I could. But let's just say I'm satisfied with my $1. So net, I'm up 12 cents. Let me hit the credit button. And now I'm going to see where the next user at TradeZero that wants to interact with AMC, they'll essentially be locating it from me on a FIFO basis. So I have now what we call at TradeZero marking the shares for credit. And so those are posted now on the locates order book. So the next TradeZero trader that comes in and wants to locate AMC, they will actually essentially be taking my locate from me. And so, like I said, this is a FIFO basis. So sometimes the order will fill. Many times the order will fill, but sometimes, you may not have someone else that wants to come in and take it. On the hot stocks, the stocks that are really in play for the day, GRTX is a real hot one today. These are very liquid in terms of the locate liquidity on our platform. So, you know, it speaks to reason that if you're in early, you do your short and you're out and you no longer need to locate, the earlier in the day, the better the chances are that the stock will actually get taken from you.
Do we want to try a ticker from the chat here?
Sure.
All right, Fear Our King, since you were first. Do you want to try Grab, GRAB? This is a recent IPO. I'm not sure how much.
So you see that this is 1.12 cents. So let's just see what Grab is trading at. 750. I can hit accept. Okay, so now it went from LR to 100 of 100. If I want, I can short the stock and cover it, and then also mark these locates for credit as well. Let's just do that. And obviously, the short doesn't need to happen. I'm just doing it to demonstrate for you guys, but the short is not necessary. But once I am done with the locate, right now I have 100 of 100 ready. Where if I were to place an opening short order right now, I'm not going to be able to sell those locates because they're being used. Even though they're not in a position, they're tied to an open short order. So if I cancel that, now I'm back to 100 of 100. Now I can mark these for credit, and I sit and I wait and I hope that someone else takes them from me.
Got it.
When these execute, I will actually recoup 30 to 50% of the current locate rate that the locate is trading at. So we have actually, and an unintended consequence of us building the system, guys, we've actually seen people actually make money just on the locate because many times throughout the day, especially on a hot stock, you know, we have a lot of supply in the morning. These are all supply and demand-based pricing models that our vendors give us. So many times throughout the day, these will get more expensive. So we've seen the unintended consequence of, you know, someone taking down a locate at, you know, 0.88 cents and maybe selling it later in the day for 2 cents. So that has happened.
Okay, so there was a lot. There was a lot here. We could probably spend an hour talking about this, specifically within the context of AMC.
Right.
But one thing I was just struck by is that you can't, once you locate the shares, you can't use them for more than one thing, right? The shares are located for your order, and then they're being used when the order is out there, and then you can't do other things with that locate.
Well, the located shares are directly attributed to an order or a position that's short. So if I cancel my grab order right now, okay?
Yeah.
I got the locate. I still have it. I can short this again if I want. With the same locate, I've paid once, but now I'm shorting it for a second time. Let me cancel. Let's do a market.
Okay,
order.
right.
Really
So it's the locate fee. It's not a borrow fee. Or
Correct.
Is that the same thing?
It's not.
Okay.
A borrow fee kicks in when you hold the share short overnight. Different. So the locate gives the broker, us, a reasonable basis to believe that if you hold the share short overnight, that we have a reasonable basis to believe that we can get those shares to make good delivery. Because once you borrow the shares, we need to then we need to get delivery on those shares.
Elusigoon in the chat has a question. He says he's got a new TradeZero account. What is the account size minimum that he needs?
Yeah, in the U.S., it's $2,500. The reason is, in order to short stocks, you need to maintain a margin account. A margin account here in the U.S., you need to maintain $2,000 and also opt to have a margin account. Without a margin account, you can't short. So we have a firm minimum on the initial account funding of $2,500.
Voodoo is asking, can all of that we just went through be automated?
Somewhat. So
okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put in a 200 share order right now of grab, and I'm going to short this. I'm going to press short. And it's going to tell me you don't have enough shares to locate. So rather than me going in, typing in grab, doing this, that, or the other thing, I can just use the sort of wizard and drive me through getting more shares.
Okay.
So it's not fully automated, but without having to interact, you could not interact with this window at all, only up until the necessity is right there, where you've actually pushed the short button, and now you would just need to hit the additional accept button on the screen. The way I showed you guys initially was kind of more long form in terms of setting it up.
Sure. And Steven, do you have thoughts on any of this that we just went through?
Not really. I think the explanation is super clear. The only thing that I'd add is that once you locate the shares, like say you locate 200.
One sec, guys. Just Steve, 1 second. You guys will notice that the AMC shares were bought. So someone bought them, and I brought in 26 cents of the 88 that I spent earlier.
Oh.
So net,
okay.
that locate wound up costing me 62 cents. So on that dollar that I made on that trade, my profitability went from 12% to 38%.
Yeah, and just for me, just to make it clear, like when I locate shares, say I'll think, okay, for my account size and for this stock price, I'm probably going to trade around, say, 500 shares. I'll locate 500 shares for that day. So you can use 100 of them, 300 of them, 500 of them. You can use but you can use the 500 again and again and again and again and again. Once you locate them, they're yours. You can use them anytime. But when you are done, then you can just credit them back. And once you get the credit back for them, then it's done. Then you can credit 100 back. If say you cover 100, you've got 400 still left. You can credit just 100 and keep the 400. So it's kind of flexible.
Yeah.
Steven, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
And you guys will see that now that I've disposed of the locate, I no longer have it. I bought and I've sold it. When I come back to short AMC again, that red LR is there. So if I wanted to do it again, I would need to go in and get another locate. And that's just because I sold the one I had before.
Steve, there was a question in the chat. Do you hold your trades overnight? Your shorts?
Almost never. Almost never.
Okay.
I mean,
there
was, just to say, maybe 3-4 years ago, you would have stocks maybe run 2-3 green days and then they'd come straight back down. But in this market, stocks don't die. So you take the trade that makes sense, and that's it.
On the overnight vein, though, and I guess this is a question for Dan. How do the borrow or the locate fees differ for positions held overnight?
Sure. So with the idea that when you borrow a share, you're actually paying through settlement. So when you do a trade, settlement is T+2. So when we think about the locate pricing and the borrow pricing, the way that we have it currently is it's total transparency to the user. So I know if I wanted to hold those shares of AMC short home overnight, it's going to cost me 4 times the locate rate for the first night, and then 1 time the locate rate each additional night thereafter. So with us, unlike most other firms that facilitate locates, you have total knowledge of exactly what the borrow is going to cost you before you even enter the short trade. Many firms will actually bill you based on the way that they are billed, and the billing for these and the announcement of what the fee is will happen at some point in the future once you've already taken the short sale. So for us, we feel that the transparency is paramount, and it helps traders in their decision making, having all the costs baked into what a trade is going to cost them before they actually do it.
And there was a question for you, Steven. Tiny Pie in our chat wants to know, are you from Newcastle?
That's outrageously good effort on picking up on the dialect. I am from Newcastle, but I've traveled a lot around the world.
All right.
8 years in Dubai and now Rio.
All right. Tiny Pie, I think, is also from that general vicinity of the globe. So you guys have that in common. All right.
Cool.
Very nice.
Okay. So I hope that we answered some questions. This is going to be this is not going to be the last of these segments that we do. This is a recurring segment. So if you have any questions about shorting in general, from the broker side, from the trader side, that's why we have Dan. That's why we have Steven. They'll be back with us next week. We're going to be doing more of these. So thank you both so much. Dan, thanks for the walkthrough.
Guys, thank you.
The explanation. As I said, I'm a visual learner. I love this chart. because it shows what is happening when you hit the button. I love that. I'm going to be screenshotting that. Guys, have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
And Steven, good luck out there. And we'll talk to you again.
All
See you,
right,
man.
thanks,
Thank you, man.
Be well.
All right,
Later, guys.
have a good one. And again, I did put the link in the bottom of the chat, the screen there. It's also in chat. If you want to learn more, benzinga.com/go/TradeZero-YouTube. It's on the screen. It's in the chat. It's in the description. Check it out. Okay. Yeah, very good call, Tiny Pie. No, you do not win swag. Come on. This isn't a charity. You don't win swag for guessing where people are from. Though that was a good guess. I'll give you that. Okay, let's do this. We got about 25 or so minutes left in the show today. Shall we do a Guess That Chart? Aaron Bree stepped away. He'll be back. But you guys want to do a Guess That Chart segment right now? I think we're going to do a Guess That Chart. We have to get ourselves a bumper for Guess That Chart. Fear Our King, we live to serve. Brian Blockchain, thank you. Genuinely, that made my day. That's all I want. I just want people to learn. I don't even care if you don't like me or whatever. I don't care about that stuff. I just want you to learn. If you're not learning, we ain't doing our job, right? Because the whole idea here is we don't know everything. I don't know everything. Aaron doesn't know everything, but we know people who know more than we do, right? And we can bring them on and talk to them, right? That's the whole point. So thank you, Brian Blockchain. That really did mean a lot to me. Shelly, no, you can't win anymore. All right. I have to find a chart to guess, though, so you guys got to give me a few seconds to do that. While I do that, I hope Aaron Bree comes back. And then we do have a trivia segment lined up. Rohan, is that still the case?
I believe that's still the case.
Okay. Do you have the questions?
Well, then that would be cheating.
No, that's not what I meant. I meant, do you have the thing? You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
yeah. You know what I mean, right? I'm talking about the thing.
The thing.
The thing.
On a side note, for Guess That Chart, we should have a little jingle too. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we have to get ourselves a bumper for that. We'll make that. Okay,
Guess
so
That Chart.
okay. Aaron just slacked me a chart he wanted to do for Guess That Chart. So we can do that one, Aaron. I don't even know where Aaron is right now. He's away from me, is all I know. Oh, he just stood up. He just popped up out of the blue. Okay. I have to get my chart set in a way where you can't see the ticker or anything like that. So just give me a few seconds to do that, because I have all these things set where okay, get rid of the symbol, get rid of the watermark. How do I do this? Get rid of the get rid of that. Okay, I think this should work. All right, I'm gonna blow it up. Share my screen.
Do we know who's joining us on trivia today?
Oh, we have no idea. Dude, you know where I've been all day.
That's very true. All right. Well, by default, you can get me and
You know where I've been all day. I have not planned trivia. Okay, Aaron, I got your Slack. I'm sharing my chart.
Yeah, Spencer, this might be a little bit of a harder one than what we've done in the past. It's not like super highly traded stock, I don't think.
No. Oh, shoot, I had to scroll down because the name of the company is on the screen. Okay. That could have been bad. Okay, here we go. Cool.
Well, hold on. Can you get the when they report earnings off? Someone could cheat and look up who reports earnings that day.
All right. Okay. Fine. All right.
I want to maintain the integrity of this
Got to
game.
maintain the integrity of the game, right?
Right.
All right.
Without integrity, we have nothing.
That's
what my principal told me when I was
okay.
16 years old.
There is actually a way to figure this out by not looking at the chart, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. All right. Here is the chart du jour.
Wait, there's a way to find out.
I'm not going to tell you. There's a weighted sheet, but I'm not going to tell you what the weighted sheet is.
I don't even know.
It's okay. This is a year to date. Oh, this is a 1 year chart. Let me go. Yeah.
Rohan, I can't see the comments right now on the screen. Thank you, sir. I did.
We
win.
will bring up the price axis. Don't worry. If we don't get any guesses. I feel like I'll have to bring up the y-axis. Okay, some guesses. They're coming in now. It's not Citi. It's not Ford. It's not Visa. It's not Amazon. Enver says, Enver, be quiet.
Enver, I thought you were gone.
Enver, where have you been today, man?
You left us.
Dana Cox? I don't even know that one. Yeah, don't ask. Enver is like the biggest Ford bull in the world. Enver knows Ford like the back of his hand. All right, let's bring up the y-axis here. Okay, and we'll zoom out so you can see the whole year.
Dash is a good guess, but it's not Dash.
Verizon's a good guess too.
Kindly, tangibly related.
Verizon's a good guess. That's not Verizon, but it's not a terrible guess. First ticker we see that's correct, we'll get some free swag. Swag-a-lag. Acadia. Oh, now that's a guess. It is not Acadia, Eric, but I will give you. Hey! Where's our?
All right, wait. What's the way that I could have found this out without knowing? What was the way you could have cheated?
So, a fun fact about Benzinga Pro: the tickers that you search for are the same tickers that appear on the bottom line there. See that scrolling ticker on the bottom? See, I've got SPY. Well, right now it's got the indexes, right? It's got SPY, Qs,
I think
diamonds.
Ash is a repeat winner.
But then look, wait, you guys want to see the ticker? Look at the ticker on the bottom of the screen. DRI. Because I just searched for it.
Okay.
That's why it's there.
Good to know.
Good to know.
Ash, have you won before?
I don't think so. It is Darden Restaurants.
I think I've sent him swag before.
That's possible.
The reason I wanted to do Darden, I just opened a trade on Darden. I want to talk about it.
Let's talk about the trade. Go ahead.
I bought some puts that expire, the monthlies that expire in January. So here's my thesis. Right, we talked about Omicron spreading throughout not just the United States, but the world in general. I'm not very bullish on the fact that I think leaders in the United States are going to want to institute new COVID restrictions. But what I do think we could see is companies themselves, Darden saying, hey, we're going to go carry out only for the next month to try to slow down this spread among our employees. Because, I mean, I worked as a waiter throughout college. And if there's one thing that I know is true, it's that if one waiter goes to work with COVID or with Omicron, everybody on the staff will have it within a week. You're all touching the same things. You're interacting in close spaces in the kitchen together.
Wait, just to refresh, because I have a fresh memory. You said you bought calls. You bought puts.
I bought puts.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, okay. My question to your thesis is: why is going back to drive-in only? Why is that bad?
So for a lot of sit-down restaurants like the ones in Darden's portfolio, Olive Garden, Longhorn Steakhouse, a very big majority of their margin and their revenue comes from alcohol sales. So if you're not, sitting at the table buying wine from Olive Garden, the company is making less money. So carry out, although a lot of these restaurants were able to stay afloat throughout. Are they Christian? I had no clue.
Yeah. What do you mean you have no clue?
I had no clue earnings. Oh, we talked.
You did know this.
I saw it. It's not why I put the trade on. Shoot. All right. I didn't know that, so that'll be fun.
We just saw. All right, forget it. Okay, moving on.
Eric Taylor saying now we all go buy Darden. Yeah, you could fade me. I mean, that's probably not a bad investment strategy, but I'm a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, so you never know.
Okay, so good answer to my question on the alcohol sales and why driving is bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what Darden said that scared the living bejesus out of me? This gap down. Wait, why is my? It's too big. Hold on. Make that's better. Okay. This gap down. Shoot, where am I? That guy. That gap down. I think it was that. It was November 24th to the 26th. No, that was Omicron, wasn't it?
Also, Darden is one of those companies that it's trading higher than it was pre-COVID, and I really don't know why.
Wait, when did Darden came out and said that they're having like serious hardcore staffing problems, right? When was that? Let's go to the news feed. Let's search for Darden. They spooked me into selling my Starbucks.
Oh my God! Everyone in that sector, in the hospitality sector, is struggling to find adequate staff in. So again, my thesis here is just that I think individual companies may institute new policies just to try to prevent the spread of Omicron. And again, if you're already dealing with a staffing issue and you want to avoid your entire staff contracting the Omicron variant that would keep them out of work, the easiest way to do that would essentially say, like, let's go carry out only for a couple weeks. Let's just slow down this spread.
I guess it was during earnings when they said that, which is September 23rd. I thought it was Darden, unless it was somebody else and I'm not remembering correctly. But I could have sworn it was Darden that was like,
I mean, other ones in this field we could look at, like Bloomin'. Was it Bloomin'?
I don't know. I'm doubting myself. I don't remember. No, because there was like a big gap down.
Well, can you check for me? Is Bloomin'? Where's Bloomin' at compared to its pre-COVID levels?
Oh, that's this year. Jesus. Okay, moving back faster. Sorry. Okay, there we go.
That's right around its pre-COVID
It's actually
levels.
so like where we were 23, now we're 19.
Okay, so Darden is higher. Like Darden's like trading like 144 right now, and it was 120 before COVID. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, is Olive Garden, Longhorn Steakhouse, like all their restaurants, are they more valuable than they were before COVID?
Well, like one thing you have to ask yourself is like you kind of can't paint all these restaurants with the same brush, because a lot of them did some things to clean up their balance sheet, during the pandemic with the assistance they got from the government. So you kind of have to look at it like that way. You could paint, if you wanted to like generalize here, you could say fast casual, or not. This is not fast casual. This is casual sit down, right? Is that really a high growth place that you want to be? And you can zoom out to get your answer. With a couple of exceptions, the answer is generally no, right? The answer is generally these aren't high growth stocks. These aren't stocks that typically go higher, and they're not inflation hedges either, because when we're in an inflation environment, people pull back their spending, right? So
here's what I'm hoping for with the Darden earnings. Now that I am short, at least in the short term, Darden. Even if the company reports decent financials in terms of revenue, EPS. Regardless, I would love to hear them say, like you said, Spencer, we're struggling with some staffing issues. We're worried about this Omicron variant. Any guidance they give that can be construed as negative, I think will really help these puts. Checking in on them right now, I'm already up a few percent on them. So
I'm not a big chart patterns guy at all, but on the weekly, do you see a little head and shoulders, or is that just me? It could just be me.
The chart doesn't look great to me.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. Eric says he's short AEP. I don't know AEP. Is it similar? American. Wait, that's what? That's a power company. Come on, that's not what we're talking about.
What's AEP?
That's the power company. Oh, he said it looks similar, but not is similar. Got it. Okay. What Darden peers we have? We have
Bloomin',
Texas Roadhouse, Cracker Barrel, Shake Shack.
Cake.
Shake Shack was a high flyer, so out of favor. You guys want that Shake Shack chart? Let's pull that up for a second, because Shack was a monster stock for like 2 years. Let's zoom out on Shack. Look at this stock. Beast.
Is Denny's publicly traded?
Yeah, DEN. And wait, what did you mention before Shack? You mentioned
Cheesecake Factory,
mentioned
and then we
cake.
also have what was the recent IPO one that Hammond talks about? First Watch.
Hey, have you been to First Watch?
Yeah,
There's
growing up a lot. I didn't know they were like a national. I always thought it was like a St. Louis thing. Like we had a couple First Watches we would go to.
Okay, I have a confession. When prior to Matt Hammond mentioning First Watch on this show on Monday, I did not know they were public. And I love.
Well, they recently went public. They
Okay,
IPO.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Or I forgot. I forget a lot of things.
They have a good Belgian waffle.
I love First Watch. I love breakfast. It's my favorite meal of the day. I could not care less about lunch or dinner I don't care about that stuff. Breakfast, though, I love. First watch is awesome.
So when a few minutes ago, when I was talking about why carryout is bad for a company like Darden,
Yeah.
About how much alcohol sales matter for companies in terms of revenue.
Is coffee the equivalent for the breakfast?
No, but what I was gonna say is I don't like. I looked at First Watch when I realized it was public, and the first thing that I looked at was, do they have Bloody Marys, mimosas on their menu?
Do they?
The answer was no. They have like fresh squeezed juices. You can buy like a $5 fresh squeezed orange juice or whatever. But
Nope.
to me, I don't want to invest in any restaurant company that's not selling alcohol. Even Shake Shack.
We don't
Shake
want
Shack's
it.
got beer.
No alcohol. You're done. As much as I love you, First Watch.
Yeah. And you really learn that. Anyone in the chat that has experience waiting tables, anytime I had a table that they could order the same exact meal, same appetizers, whatever, but if one table was drinking and the other table wasn't, the bill and my tip would be so much higher on the one that was drinking, you wouldn't believe it.
I would believe it.
Okay.
How about that? All right, we got 10 minutes left. Not Aaron, you're here. Rohan, you're over there, right?
I'm here. What's up?
You want to do some trivia?
We could save it for tomorrow at this point, too.
Oh, we could save it for tomorrow. Okay, in the chat. How should we do this? 1, if you want to do trivia now. 2, if you want to save trivia for tomorrow. It's holiday themed.
I just don't know. Can we get it done in 10 minutes? That's my only concern. I kind of let go. My time got away from me.
I kind of want to wait till tomorrow, actually.
We can do another guess that chart because Ash has already won.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he said in the chat he's already won.
All right. No, I don't know how many questions there are. Rohan, do you know how many questions there are?
1 sec. There's a way for me.
I kind of want to wait, honestly. Tomorrow, it's Friday. Plus, it's going to be the last day. Not the last day. It'll be one of the last days of the year that we do this show because I'll be out and Aaron will be out on different days. So we may not do this show like the last week of the year or the end of next week, for example. I kind of want to wait, though. Maybe we'll just wait. I don't want to address Charlie's question. Okay. Hey, I'm keeping tabs on the market as always, and I'm seeing what's up, what's down, and I'm watching movers in my scanner tool. What do we have, guys, in the last few minutes here? I don't see. Hey, BKKT is making a move here. I think that was down.
That's an NFT play?
That was down. Crypto. But that was down in pre-market because they did some sort of a mixed shelf offering, I think.
What's moving today? Spencer, just go to your movers tool and let's see
Yeah.
the top gainers and losers.
Yeah. But real fast. So Bacht is a mover today. So we appear to have found a temporary bottom.
All right, so after my Darden puts, I still have $180 of buying power in my Robinhood.
Just do it! So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
Okay.
What should I trade with that $180? Looking for a new trade.
All right, let's do this. Let's go to a calendar.
Go to top movers, whatever the...
No, I'm going to a calendar.
Oh, we're going to find something that has earnings today?
Or like next week, if they exist.
No, I want something that has earnings today.
All right,
I wanna
fine.
YOLO-
FedEx.
Really?
They report tonight.
All right, I think they're going to be strong earnings.
He just thinks that for 2 seconds. Doesn't even.
It makes sense, right? Holiday season approaching, people buying gifts, people getting stuff shipped.
Stop. Let's pull up a chart of FedEx.
These calls are kind
Stop.
of calls are kind of expensive.
Yeah, I bet they are. So yeah, it's gonna be strong earnings. Look at the FedEx chart. Ouch.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Ouch. That's a tough one. Rivian reports tonight. You want to do Rivian?
Dude, talk about expensive options.
Dude, those puts are probably like $1 gajillion.
I don't know if I'll be able to afford any of them.
I bet you those puts are mad expensive.
I could buy I could buy like a $95 put for $133.
Jesus Christ.
It would only need to fall like 10, 12, 13%.
That's not a lot. Actually, that's not even a lot for Rivian, man.
Should I do it? Okay, but the fact that it's trading down like 4.5% today makes me think that it could pop.
Talking about it right now on CNBC.
We don't care about
We
CNBC.
don't
They
care.
don't know what they're talking about on there.
Now they do we sometimes. Miss, I don't know. Miss Whitehorse says Walmart. Well, the thing is Walmart going to move in the next few days? I'm going back to my calendar. I want to see who reports not just tonight, but in the next few days here. Let's see what we got. Let's look at okay. No, estimated revenue is what we want. Wait, where's my revenue?
Man, Tesla's chart looks so ugly right now.
Wait, there it is. Estimated revenue. Okay, Tesla does. FedEx, Accenture. Oh, you want to do Nike, dude? Nike reports after the close. What is that? Is that Tuesday? Is that what that is? That's Monday. They report Monday after the close. You want to do Nike? Come on, man. You got 2 whole days. Do Nike.
Yeah, but I don't have that much buying power, so I kind of need to buy one that expires tomorrow because it'll be cheaper.
Nike and Micron are both on Monday. Rite Aid is cheap stock. Rite Aid is a cheap stock. The options are probably cheap because it's Rite Aid. And no one cares. Right. Wrong.
Yeah, you're probably right. Rite Aid, wow. Rite Aid's been getting beat up.
Okay, fine. You want to do FedEx? Fine.
No,
not FedEx. You want to do Rivian? We'll do Rivian.
All right, let's do Rivian.
We'll do Rivian. He's going to do Rivian.
All right, Fiat said, trust me, buy those puts on Rivian. I'm trusting you, man. We're going to do it.
Fiat, how about this? I'm going to make a note. Tomorrow, I will walk through my portfolio. I've showed you guys, before, via Benzinga Pro, but I've never actually showed you my account. I will show you my account tomorrow. How about
All right, I'm locked in. I got a $95 put that expires tomorrow on Rivian.
Oh, boy.
Oh, shoot.
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything. Okay. My Robinhood just glitched out for a second.
We're all good?
Yes, sir. All right, other stocks I'm watching on my watch list right now. Peloton up about 3%, currently under $40. This is a stock.
Very nice.
Yeah, this is a stock, Peloton, that reached a high of well above $100, almost $160, currently at $40. What are your thoughts on Peloton right now, guys?
It's below 40, actually. So let's pull up the entire history of this stock.
I'm not a fan.
Let's go to a weekly.
I've given my thesis for why I don't like the company and the business model in general. But there is an argument to be made that at some point, at such a cheap price, there is value here.
It's not cheap yet. That's the issue. Is it's still not cheap?
It's still not cheap.
Well,
Okay.
let's go look at it. Where's my mouse? It's got a price of sales of 2.8, which isn't absurd. But
Let's stay in the same sector. Can we check Callaway? I want to see if Callaway is cheap or expensive right now.
Callaway had a huge run also.
I know, but it's well off those highs. Callaway got as high as I want to say $35.
Forward PE of 59.
That's pretty expensive.
I almost bought Callaway 2 years ago. I don't know why. I was talking with a coworker here about buying Callaway 2.5 years ago. I never did. I don't know why I didn't do that.
I played it actually on the downside when COVID hit. It went from about $20 down to $5, and I made some good money trading puts on that, and then I bought calls on the way up. So I've made some good money trading Callaway, but it's been kind of like a dead trade for the past 6 months or so.
Yeah, and that and everything else, right?
Apple.
Apple has been dead the last couple of days.
Yeah.
So
Trades off. It must be a shitty stock.
Apple sucks, bro.
Yeah, it hasn't moved in the last 3 days.
All right. I think we're going to wrap it up here. We have the roadmap coming up in a couple of minutes here. So, yeah, you know what, Melanie? 99% of the time, class action lawsuits don't impact stocks. They don't. Product recalls usually don't impact stocks. Class actions don't impact stocks. Shareholder lawsuits don't impact stocks.
You know what I think, though?
I don't know why that is.
On Live Nation, I do think there's a short trade to be made there, too, kind of along the same lines.
Talking about Houston?
With the, the same lines with the Omicron Darden trade I put on. I think we could see a company like Live Nation say, okay, we don't want to be liable to hold a concert and have this new variant spread throughout. So we're going to go ahead and start. But also, like you said, after the Travis Scott catastrophe in Houston, there are a number of lawsuits opened up against Live Nation for this, which, like you said, typically isn't a big deal for stocks. But when you look into it, there are a lot of these like 30-odd lawsuits that have come out from this Travis Scott thing have a huge dollar amount on there. And it's kind of a, I'm trying to think of the right word. Kind of a grave, like it's like not a fun fact, but in the legal universe, young lives are worth a higher monetary amount. So the fact that there were like 16, 10-year-olds, that passed away allows the prosecutors of these court cases saying, all right, we're looking for an $150 million settlement. If it was someone like, a 40-year-old that passes away, you can't ask for that high of a money. So even if a couple of these lawsuits, like they have to settle with some of these families that have lost a young person in that catastrophe, they'll have to pay out huge settlement numbers. And once you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, it's not chump change even for a company like Live Nation.
Sure. So it's called value of life. It's an economic principle, right? You can put a number. You can put a number on the value.
But what was the word
life.
I was trying to look for to describe it? It's like
but you can put a number.
It's like dirty feeling. It's like dirty trying to add a dollar amount of value to someone's life. It doesn't feel right.
Well, yes, but it
makes
is.
sense.
You can put a number on the value of someone's life based on how old they are, based on what skills they have, and their career, and their earnings, and their kids, etc.
Tiny Pie, they could try, but I don't think they'd have a case saying, "Hey, we're not liable. Travis Scott's liable." I think Live Nation's the one that put the event on and was in charge of a lot of the.
But can I tell you what I think would happen? They're getting sued right now, right? Live Nation, yeah,
multiple lawsuits.
They're getting sued. This is what I think will happen. They will announce a settlement.
Yeah, but they have to individually settle.
No, I didn't finish. They will announce a settlement with everyone at some point. And the second that happens, the stock goes up. And here is why. It's one less unknown. Wall Street loves settlements because it means, okay, that's over with. Let's all move on with our lives. Wall Street loves settlements. That's bullish.
But on the flip side, until we get to that day where they actually settle all these lawsuits, I think we'll see more and more headlines saying like,
maybe
they're asking, this family's asking for $200 million because they lost a 10-year-old in this. I don't know. Either way, I think between those two bearish factors and the fact the chart doesn't look great, there is a short trade setting up on Live Nation. I'm not saying, oh my God, this stock's going bankrupt, it's going to zero, but could I see it going from 102 down to 90? Sure.
All right, we got to wrap. Hit the like button, please. Check out TradeZero. The link on the screen, the link in the chat, the link in the description. AB and I will be back tomorrow. Thanks to all of our guests today. Hit the like button, please, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Is the redirect set to the roadmap?
I have no clue.
Can you check before
I will.
Before I end the show.
Someone didn't set a redirect to this stream. Shelly. Okay, it's set.
All right, we're done. Everyone have a good rest of your day. Catch you guys later.
Peace.
We'll be right back.